It says I'm
And
here.
we are live, everybody. Welcome to Feck Off Friday. Guys, we are so excited to have some amazing guests. Jim, I'm going to let you do some introductions while I go make sure this gets out.
All right, thanks, Jamie. Welcome everyone to Feck Off Friday. Big day today. We have Babu Fikovic with us, and we are live from Boston. Welcome, welcome. And Babu is in the similar business that we're all in, and been doing it for a long time. Cured his own disease with Feco, and the cool thing about what Babu and I got going on is I'm Feco and he's Fico, and we still get along. So Feck Off.
Feck Off.
Yeah.
Oh,
so we can make this work, man. And Babu brought a good friend of his that helps him with some of his projects, and I'd like to have him introduce George.
All righty. I'm Babu Fikovic. Been making Fico a long time. One of my angels that helps other people is George. George is going to join us today and tell us some stories about his experience in providing Fico for individuals that he cares for, particularly a gentleman who unfortunately passed away. We treated this gentleman for pancreatic cancer. We successfully were able to cure the cancer, but unfortunately he did not use a maintenance dose afterwards and he passed away. So, George, are you there?
Yes, I am. How you doing, everybody?
Very good.
Off, everybody want to fuck off cancer?
Feck off cancer, man.
Feck off.
Al was a very, very close friend of mine. When I called Babu, we were very unsure. We knew it was going to give him more time, but we didn't know exactly what the actual results were going to be. He was our first.
Yep.
He was a unique character. He was a hard-working guy, just like everybody else that was brought up in our era. It kills me because he was more worried about what it was costing me.
Yep.
Not realize it wasn't costing me anything other than having Todd make it and a few grams here and there, and that's it.
Now, to clear everything up, once you're cured of cancer, folks, you have to have a maintenance dose daily the rest of your life.
Correct.
Usually equal to about 50% of what you need to.
I did not want to do it because he felt that, I don't know what he felt. I felt that he felt bad because he couldn't pay. And when his kids came back to me the second time, it was too late. We actually tried to megadose him.
Yep.
And then it was way too late. I had wished that he had called me sooner. I had wished they all called me sooner because I believe we would have been able to bring it back. And I believe since then, we've actually cured 6 people with pancreatic cancer.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And we have to be real careful with saying cured because we all know everybody has cancer and we're not doctors, and we got to be cautious of how that's kind of how what we're doing in this world is we've all had somebody affected by cancer or disease, and we recognize that the product worked amazing, and not only for ourselves but our friends and our family and our coworkers and things like that, but ultimately you got to pay attention to it. It's a lifetime thing. You can't let it get out of your blood system.
No, you definitely can't let it get out of your system. We probably have another gentleman who's watching now, who was my wife and I went out to dinner with them. It's been an old friend for about 20 years, and he shocked me at dinner. He told me the doctors had given him a death sentence,
an expiration date.
An expiration date.
Wow, how about that, man? How exciting is that?
Expiration date. They gave him 6 months, and he was pretty much almost in tears telling me this. And I said, I won't let that happen. He wanted to see his grandchildren graduate. I says, do you trust me? He says, yeah. I says, then you just got to give me a chance. Well, we're on coming up on, he's got a dose and a half left from his 60 days, and he is in remission.
Nice. All right.
Okay.
Fantastic. Yes.
Doctors are very confused, don't know what's going on.
Well, that's a great place to have them, actually.
Exactly.
Yeah. Wherever we want to keep them.
Right.
Awestruck.
And I told him the same thing I tell everybody. Some doctors are pro for, some are pro against. You have to feel your own doctor out. We don't tell them to stop doing any of their treatments at all.
How about feeling your own doctor up? That's another option.
Well, yeah, we can do that too, but I don't want to be charged with anything I don't need to be charged with. I got enough trouble with myself.
We're starting enough shit
on its own.
Absolutely, right on. Well, this is.
I've talked to Todd many times, Babu, and asked him. I've had this, and he'll tell you straight up. Many times I've watched the St. Jude's commercial. And it kills me. Yeah,
I got to turn it, man.
It kills me.
How brutal.
I keep saying about Boo, I says, don't you think we could just walk in there and just try? And we got to be careful. And I'm like, but listen to the wordage of the commercial.
Well, it's what it
says we experiment.
Yeah, it's practice. They're practicing medicine, and they're not documenting it, because if they did, then they would know that it's not the cancer that's killing people; it's the treatment that's killing people.
Correct.
And what we're trying to do at Cancer Playbook is collect enough stories that we can prove that. At a certain point, it's going to be inadmissible evidence that there's these success stories that work. Like I said, it's not for everybody. It doesn't work 100% because we don't know what other people are doing on the side. If you're sitting there drinking alcohol every night and doing FECO and you think your cancer is going to go away, it's not. Some of you may have seen me drinking a soda over here. I don't drink very many sodas, but this morning I needed one.
Unfortunately, that's my weakness.
Yeah,
mine too.
I'm on the pure cane sugar diet. If I'm going to do sugar, I do real pure cane, Mexican Cokes, they refer to them as in Texas, and real
far
sugar.
Better for you.
Real sugar.
High fructose corn syrup is terrible.
It is, and we're living that. We're getting ready to do a big challenge and help people get off processed sugar. It's just it's a process. You have to go through reading the labels, and if you have to read the labels, don't eat it. That's the easiest thing.
This is true.
So it's part of our program.
But I've been in the food business for most of my life, 35 years. So
I would
love to go back in. I've been actually thinking about going back into it. I would love to do it.
It's a restaurateur.
Oh, right on.
And feuds, I would love to do it that way, but as you know, out here, they're just not at that level yet.
Hey, so we're going to talk about FICO with FECO with FICO.
Yeah, FICO is the king.
So we got a gram of FICO right here. It's a gram, and then we got a 5-gram syringe, and then we got a 60-gram syringe. Woo! Look at that sucker! Holy shit! That's Rick Simpson back when he was getting this thing started. He came up with a protocol of 60 grams in 90 days. We're not a huge proponent of it, but it is around, and it is kind of a standard. And honestly, if you get 60 grams of you in 90 days, you're gonna feel better. There's no doubt about it. But the key is you don't quit after that. We talked about that earlier. So, like I said, 1 gram, 5 grams, 60 grams. You need to do a gram a day. So think about that.
10 grams.
10 grams. 10 grams. Yeah. So if you need information on FECO, go to cancerplaybook.org, or you could tell us about your group.
FECO Education and Making Home. I formed when I found out that I had cured my adult onset insulin-dependent diabetes. I was taking FECO. I was taking it recreationally. I was enjoying it. And I was going in and having my regular blood tests done. I went in to have my A1AC checked. And the doctor goes, your A1AC is so low, we can take you off insulin and put you back on metformin. So it was about 12 months when he did that, almost a full year before he took me off insulin, put me back on metformin. And then another 6 months after that, I was off the metformin. So I cured my adult onset insulin-dependent diabetes. And then I thought, okay, I'll form FECO Education and Making Home. I needed to tell this story. I wanted to tell everybody that, I cured my diabetes. And I had 200 people, 300 people for a very long time. And all of a sudden it just exploded. Now we've got about 4,500 people worldwide, wherever you are on this globe, unless you're in a Muslim nation or a communist nation, we can get it to you.
If I'm not mistaken, Todd, did you not beat out COPD as well, my friend. Did you not tell it to fuck off as well?
Well, I wish I could say fuck off for COPD. COPD is a terrible disease, and the fact that any inhaling any smoke when you got COPD is rough. And I've got it from smoking cigarettes for all my life.
Well, we could tell cigarettes to feck off. That's for damn
And
sure.
I told
True, but I also know he's not as on his oxygen like he used to
No.
be.
Right. No, seems doing great, man. Yeah.
I can even say I had a dear childhood friend. The guy gave me my first Marlboro cigarette. I saw him on Facebook, and he was dying of COPD. And I said, Brooks, I said, gosh. And he says, yeah, man. He says, I can't do anything. I'm housebound. I'm going to die. So I sent him the Fico, and pretty soon he was out in the garden. And it was like about a month later, and he was walking the quarter-mile up to the post office and back.
Yeah.
And one of the greatest things that happened to him, I mean, he did die of COPD, but I give him at least 3 extra years.
Of life. Oh, yeah.
And in that time frame, he met people and was horseback riding and enjoying his life.
That's the way it is.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. Quality over quantity. Definitely. We all want to extend our lives. I've been watching this podcast. It's a series called the Blue Zone, and it talks about what areas and what you do to extend your life. And my mom's 100 years old, and she's definitely not from a blue zone. She's from freaking Mason City, Iowa. So that's the opposite of a blue zone. But she's lived a hell of a life, and my dad died almost 40 years ago, so she's been a widow for that long. Yeah, and tough as a bat, man, and doing great. Honestly, we a shout out to Lisa, our caregiver, and she's awesome. I love her to death, and she's actually taking care of my dog today while I'm up here in Boston. So yeah, pretty cool being here with Babu. I've been following them for a couple of years. Their program is amazing. Honestly, they help patients. That's their key. That's why they do what they do, and that's exactly who we want to match up with. It's hey Jamie. That's part of our program is we don't make medicine, but we try to find people that do a good job with the medicine that we could use as a resource. And what we've done with these guys is got amazing medicine from them. That's what they do is they make good medicine, and they don't really charge an arm and a leg for it. So somebody I'd highly recommend if you have any questions. These guys are great. You can go to the playbook, find out what you need, change your diet. We're all about collecting the stories. We're getting ready to, Babu doesn't know this, but we're getting ready to work really close on a lot of the patients that he's working with because we're gonna help them. We're gonna support them, man. And we want to get the data because we know the data is king. So tell us a little bit more about the Facebook after it started growing.
Once I had a few people that I cured cancer of.
Yeah.
Especially skin cancers. I haven't had a skin cancer that this didn't beat.
Yeah.
Not one. None. And reached over there and grabbed me that bag.
Yeah. So what he's saying is, if anybody didn't understand that, he hasn't seen the skin cancer that got anybody yet. It's amazing what it does with skin cancer. I had it personally.
This is a picture of a foot. This is the worst case of skin cancer I ever treated in my life. There was melanoma on a man's foot. Know how swelled up his foot is? I mean, that foot is just enormous. This is amputation stage. They were going to cut this man's foot off. And the daughter came to me.
And Jesus Christ, don't let it get that bad.
And, I mean, they were, right? Okay, we're going to make the appointment for the surgery kind of thing.
I mean, they're talking cut it off.
Cut it off, the whole foot off. I mean, and he had it removed and it come back.
Wow.
So, and then
wait, of course it came back because they treated the symptom.
Right.
The cancer.
And they didn't get all of it.
They didn't get it all.
No.
What they do is they cut it out. They don't cut it all out, no. There's no way in hell because it's got roots.
It's got cells.
Yeah.
There's a molecular structure.
Exactly. And you have to kill it all. Cannabis oil. What if cannabis oil does kill cancer cells?
This is about 6 weeks after we topical as well as oral use. Now, these lesions
at that difference.
that you see here all opened up. Ghastly opened up.
Yeah.
And then after they opened up, they turned into this and healed over without a damn scar.
And when that's opening up, that means that the cancer is coming out.
That's right. That thing opens up like an open wound, and The number one thing I hear from these people is, I can feel cancer being eaten away.
Yeah.
I can feel it. It's a tingling sensation.
Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah, we've been, because of my overzealous desire to get this podcast going 2 hours early. Bamboo and I had a lot of time to talk about war stories, and it's what it's all about. That's what our program's about: collecting quality stories. That's what George is, here to tell us a couple great stories. He's got a personal friend that was tragically passed away, and Jamie has the same story, and we're learning a lot from those stories. Sad as it is or not, they didn't die in vain. Their story's going to live on. The playbook's not going anywhere, and people are going to learn from it. So, if you are a cancer patient currently, or you had success with it, or somebody that didn't have success with it, get on cancerplaybook.org and share your story with us.
We need all stories. We need success stories.
Yeah, get on Fecal Education and Making It Home and share your story. We're going to have a link there, and we're going to collect stories from these guys. Get you some medicine from them. That's what they do. They're angels. They're true angels. I watch their Facebook group, and they literally do what they say, and they get quality. It's the key is this quality medicine. If you don't get quality medicine, you just might as well go the Western medicine route.
We specialize in what we call rainbow.
I've brought in Bamboo some stuff and that I thought was makeable. It's a good Fico, but was not. So you're not lying there. He's very fussy with what he does and what he uses.
Yeah, it's huge.
Sure.
Well, he grows his own. He's in a legal state.
That too. But I mean, sometimes we do got to, we can't always keep up with it. So
no, I agree.
You have to outsource, and that's where my guys from Cali come in, and Maine, and so on and so forth.
Amen to the guys from Cali. Woo!
That's right, man. Yeah. Amen. Right.
I can't say too much because for fear of sounding like I'm boasting, but my background is in measurement and control instrumentation. Space shuttles all flew with my instruments, and the International Space Station is still flying with my pH sensors in it. I delivered them personally to Hamilton Sunstrand to be put into the International Space Station. I have a long history in this measurement and control sciences. And the way I do it is the way the pharmaceutical industry would do it, because that's who I used to serve.
That's the only good part about the pharmaceutical industry. Back off, by the way.
That's right. And the thing about the pharmaceutical industry, I will say, it is uber clean.
Yeah.
I mean, I wrote the 3A sanitary standards for some of the instruments that are used in that industry. It is clean.
So it's clean coming in. What is it coming out?
The problem of it is the ingredients.
Yeah, the ingredients.
Now, for instance, insulin contains carcinogens. Insulin.
Hey, what is
contains carcinogens.
What is it made of?
Fecal?
Yeah, what's fecal?
It's made of 190 proof alcohol.
It's a plant. It's like a plant. It's a real plant. What we're talking about is a plant that grows out of the earth that was here for thousands of years, that's been a medicine for thousands of years, until 100 years ago they decided that it's not a good thing to conflict with what the pharmaceutical agenda is.
1937 Marijuana Tax Act.
Started in 1936.
Here we are.
I went to the school in Vegas. 1936 they made the hemp plant illegal. 1975 that's when they made marijuana illegal, because they realized Nixon sent somebody out there to find out in 74 why everybody was onto this new quote-unquote gateway drug. The cannabis.
Yeah.
You want to hear all the bad stuff.
The scientist came back and he said, sir, there's only one thing I can tell you, is this possibility it may cure cancer, and then that's when it became illegal.
That's enough room
to shut. Exactly what I learned when I went to the schools that I went to the schools for after I left the food business.
Gosh, well, that's what we're all doing here, is fighting that battle, and it's like it's a constant battle, and we're starting underground, just like the plant does, but we're making traction right now more than ever, honestly.
Oh yeah.
Us doing these kind of things, and what my specialty is bringing people together that normally don't come together, and trying to mix oil and water. You know, and I'm good at that. And we have a team of people that are working on this full time. So tell us more about what you tell us about, you know, do you want to tell about your one friend that was 8 years old?
The first child I treated was a little boy named Bobby. He was an epileptic. I met his mother. She was a waitress, single mother. Told me about Bobby and told me that he was wearing this helmet. Showed me this picture. He's not wearing a helmet coming down over his temples even. And he was an epileptic and he'd have like 50, 60 seizures a day. So I said, I might be able to help him if you, like George, trust me. So I was able to get my hands on some Lifter, which is a CBD strain. And I made a simple tincture with 190 proof alcohol. And there's 190 proof. I mean, this is alcohol and he's a child. So I'm a little worried about that too. But we took a 1 gram syringe like this and she filled it with that tincture. And when Bobby was laying on the floor convulsing in a fit, she put that in his mouth and he swallowed it. In about 3 minutes, maybe 3 or 4 minutes, he quit convulsing and quit shaking. And in another 4, maybe 5 minutes, rolled over and sat up and rubbed his eyes and smiled. And I'm going to cry again.
That's all right. I didn't do that intentionally, but son of a bitch, man. I mean,
and me and his mother looked at him and cried.
See, this stuff is real. It's real, man. I mean, that's what we need to do is people need to get on board right away, man. Don't wait till the doctor says, go home and get your affairs in order. Because so many people that are part of our group need to hear these stories. They're so important. Share them. If you got them, share them, man. Speak up. It's a big part of what it's going to take for us to get people. I got a quick story. I've got a friend that has a son, well, actually a grandson that's 2 years old, going through cancer, and he's got cancer in his eye. This story sucks. 2-year-old kid, and they were treating one of the eyes, and they did pretty good with it, but the other eye didn't respond very well. So you know what their option is? Their option was to cut the eye out on a 2-year-old kid.
And the parents agreed.
And the parents' friends all said, great call, because that's what we're used to in this world. And there's a better way. 100 years from now, they're going to look back at that shit and say, what the feck off are you guys thinking, man? This is ridiculous. We'll be the joke laughing stock of the world because we do stupid shit like that. And that's the doctor's recommendation.
It took generations without it in our food supply to get us to having these diseases back in
more school than we did.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, George.
They're people that went to more school than we did. That's it.
Yeah, that's a problem,
That's
man.
it. They ain't no different than you or I.
Nope.
Yeah, overeducated, and honestly, you know, to me, common sense and more real empirical data, like patient-reported outcomes, like what we collect, is way more important. Because when we go to a doctor and they give you a pill or they give you chemo, they never ask you one time, how do you feel? What are you getting from this? Are you feeling anything? Are you feeling the tumors reduced? Are the burning stopping? They don't give a feck off at all.
Oh, they'll give you another pill to counteract the pill they give you.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, that's our story. My son, Eric, 9 prescriptions coming home, did some oil. 5 of them went away. Yeah. 5 prescriptions out of 9. It still just blows my mind.
I'm the same way. Same way. I used to be on a lot of prescriptions, no drugs.
And I personally am off all prescriptions now. I had a little statin that they threatened me if I didn't control my cholesterol, which I've heard is pretty damn good for a 63-year-old person, that they're going to put me on another statin. So I said, back off. So I quit doing the other one, and I started eating healthy. That's the deal. That's what it takes. That's kind of what you don't ever hear. That's what this needs to be a commercial. Change your diet. Quit eating freaking sugars. If you're sick, even if you're not sick, quit eating sugars.
Well,
you'll end up losing weight.
At least the right kind of sugars. I mean, high fructose corn syrup is just poison.
It's poison. Yeah. If it's processed, don't eat it.
I mean, cane sugar is real sugar.
Yeah. Cane sugar in an orange or an apple.
Yeah. Or sucrose out of a piece of fruit. That's real sugar.
Yeah. And you get fiber with it, and it's really good for you. And you don't want to do too much of it, though. You don't want to just eat all fruit, fructose all day long. But this high
fructose corn syrup is a processed product, and in my mind is a carcinogen. I have been to Memphis, Tennessee, where ADM has a facility to send all of this high fructose corn syrup out to the beverage facilities, and all of these railroad tracks going into, as kind of fly over it, going in. We're like ants.
Yeah,
We're like ants after our sugar, man.
Yeah.
They fill these railroad cars with these tanker railroad cars and send them all over the United
Oh.
States with the cypress corn syrup.
Yeah, man. It's cheap and it's terrible for you. And it's allowed. It's, by the way, FDA approved.
Yes.
Thank you, FDA. Back off.
Thank you.
Jesus.
Back off, for sure.
Yeah. So talking about, programs, diets, stuff like that. You can't just do FECO or FECO. You got to change your diet. You got to step up. You can't keep drinking as much alcohol as you did before.
I personally went to hemp proteins and hemp hearts.
Hemp heart works.
And I take hemp proteins every morning still to this day.
Hemp hearts show up on my patient-reported outcomes as one of the things that helps people get off sugar. And it does. I put it in my smoothie, and you're exactly right. And other things that there's things that can help you.
You can live off of hemp proteins with nothing else.
Wow. Yeah.
You can literally
survive
nutrients
off
in there. There's protein in there that if you kind of push come to shove, you could survive.
Right on. That's amazing.
I want to cut in real quick. Our audience is growing kind of quickly. So for anybody who just jumped on, thank you for jumping on. If you or somebody you love has cancer, please visit cancerplaybook.org.
Or FECO Make It at Home.
Or FECO Make It Home group.
Yeah, that's a cool name. It's a cool name. That's what got me involved in it, is the making it home concept. Because you know what? The government does not want us to make our own medicine.
Government is scared to death of guys like me that are going to teach you to grow cancer cures with your tomatoes.
Yeah, exactly.
We've also got a couple comments. This one says Britton had tics the other day, stopped a few minutes after taking FECO. That's awesome. Yeah. Another comment says FECO is or should be a dietary supplement.
Oh,
I totally agree.
Great call.
I can agree with that.
I would agree with that 100%.
Might not, but yes.
People, a lot of people don't understand too. It also helps you control your diet and your weight.
Yeah. I've honestly lost about 15 pounds of belly. I mean, it's just like melts away. You stop doing sugar and you do FECO.
You don't eat as much. You just physically don't feel the need to consume as many calories.
Well, one of the things on the Blue Zone that I read is that they said don't eat to 100% or 100. We eat at 120% because they supersize your shit. Back off, man. Right? You should eat 80%. They said eat to a 80% capacity. Then you save room to be able to go out and do stuff and metabolize it. You don't want to. It's like stuffing everything full and then trying to unpack something that's stuffed in there. That's what food is, and that's why everybody's got issues with,
Well, our parents tried to teach us to eat everything on our plate. It took until we get in our 60s. We go, I can push this away and I'm just fine.
I don't know if mommy would be okay with me not eating everything right now.
And we've got another comment that said God's great medicine, which we agree.
Yes.
And Mick commented that he would like to be a guest sometime. Mick, if you'll reach out to Justin Kander, we will make an introduction.
Mick DeSello is one of our angels. Mick DeSello runs the UK and all of the islands and Italy. Mick is Italian. Awesome. Mick is a chemist. Mick is a mad scientist, cannabis chemist. I love.
Oh, well, that'll be an exciting podcast then.
One fantastic guest.
I'm starting to love Mick too right now. So, can you get it over to Croatia? Eastern Europe is a big push on our end. I
believe that Rick Simpson is still living in Croatia.
I got to check that out. I'm going to go find him. I'm going to be over in Croatia in April. Carmen, I'm coming to find you, man.
If you find Rick Simpson over in Croatia, I'm coming with you.
Right
I found a segue comment. Peggy commented that they're teaching their veterinarian.
Oh.
I have a dog, cat just diagnosed with diabetes. We're going to start treating it, and we're going to document the journey.
Okay, bring it on, man. We got a story. We got a guy that collects stories. Also, my dog, Kira. Kira's been doing great. She had some skin tags and some lumps and stuff like that, and we got her on full extract, man. It's a little tincture. Sometimes I get her too high, and it's not the worst thing in the world. She just is not normal, but she's not upset or sad. Her tail's wagging, and she's good, and she sleeps like a freaking rock. But then you learn it's all dosing. Honestly, they have an endocannabinoid system just like us. It's starving just like ours. She does great with hemp at the 0.3 THC is a beautiful thing for animals. We're all about dogs. We cats, dogs, Fico Feco. We can still get along. You know?
We also have playbooks for dogs available on cancerplaybook.org as well.
I have seen videos on YouTube of a woman who cured melanoma on her horse's fanny. Now, I want to tell you that's a lot of Fico to cover a melanoma on a horse's fanny. But by golly, she did. And the video, if you Google on YouTube, if you just search, RSO for horse or Fico for horse, it'll come up. It's the story is on there. It's quite a journey that she took, and she doesn't say how she got the Fico.
Oh yeah,
she probably made it, but that was the biggest damn melanoma I ever saw.
What we have to assume that they make it, and that's a beautiful thing. You can make your own medicine, and nothing is empowering as that, honestly. And you can talk to the master here. It just feels amazing when you get a good product out. I see that you post every once in a while on a finished product, and you're got to be proud of it because it's so good. I mean, it's such a good thing. I've tried their medicine. It's amazing. It dissolves real nice. And one of the programs we're going to be starting up is a little podcast once a month on FECO standards. So what is in good FECO? How do you make good FECO? We're working with Chip from last week doing the extraction guy. What a great podcast, man, for sure. But we'll be working with him on learning what's the best way to make it. How long do you soak it? What does it make? How to get the most cannabinoids and most terpenes out of it? And which ones really move the needle, right? I mean, I think we all agree multi-strain, right?
Oh, I would. Oh, definitely. Our experience in our group has been multi-strain. We call it rainbow.
Rainbow.
Put it all together. I mean, we got dozens of strains.
Pride, more rainbow.
Actually, rainbow, I think, is a good name.
Okay. All right, we're going to go with rainbow. I love it. It is. And it's kind of like what we used to call
rainbow is a true name, especially for me, because when I have everything left over, everything that's in the pound goes right into the bag.
George will give me...
It's for sure definitely a rainbow.
Awesome, man.
Many flavors.
Yeah. And you think about that, and the way a pharmaceutical is made, it's made with a clinical trial. And the thing about, and what I'm learning from our research is that, the biggest pharmaceutical, what pharmaceutical wins most clinical trials?
I don't know what.
Placebo. Serious. Placebo is taking over clinical trials right now. You know why? Because pharmaceuticals aren't working, and people are better off not taking anything and just having a mental that I'm doing something, but physically you're not doing any harm to your body whatsoever. So we're out to prove that treatment is brutal in the real world. It's Western medicine needs FECO or FECO with it. It needs to be combined together. It's an entourage effect in its own regard. So
I'm constantly asked about FECO interaction with chemo. It is fine.
It's amazing.
It's amazing for it.
It takes away all the side effects.
It gives you an appetite. It takes away your anxiety.
It helps you sleep.
It gives you some homeostasis. It's good for you.
It's good for you. You have
it actually makes you go out and function in the real world too while you're doing
it. It really does. I've
seen people do it. I mean, I've treated my wife's aunt breast cancer. Radiation and chemo worked through the whole session. I mean, I watched it with my own eyes. I mean, and I know that radiation, I talked to a different friend of mine before I was involved with this, and he told me that radiation feels like you're burning from the inside out.
Yes, that is exactly what I have been told before, that they felt like they were burning in their body.
Correct.
Correct. Their body.
That is awful. Oh my gosh.
I was telling Babu about a friend that just before I even knew what was up with FECO, I was getting the oil and I was doing it. I knew it took away the pain in my inflamed finger. So this guy came into town and I gave him he had some tumors on his legs. It was bad. He was stage 4. He's literally on his last tour, really sad. Final ride. And came through and I gave him the tincture. It was a gram of FECO with some MCT oil with it. And he started applying it. And he called me back a couple hours later. He said, Jim, he goes, the burning's gone. What the hell's going on here? And I was like, I don't know. I don't even know, man. I said, you know what? I recommend do more. So he kept doing more. And this guy was stage 4 plus, you know what I mean? He was like done. And he lived another year and a half.
Wow.
Yeah, the burning went away, and we all know what that means, right? Yeah, when's the last time chemo took the burning away? And when they even asked you, and you know the burning's going away, nobody gives a fuck. Nobody does. They just like come back.
We
We'll see you
worked
in 4 weeks.
Well,
we
part
worked
of-
with a patient on the Operation Zero program, for just hooking them up with the dollar program, and they were stage 4, only given a couple months left to live. So they were in a different, like, they're at the tail end of the battle, knowing that they were losing. And right before they passed, I had gotten a message, and that they've been on the FECO for several weeks now, and they got to enjoy the last bit of their time pain-free with their family.
Wow.
So
that is,
the
That's
increased
beautiful.
quality of life is insane.
Man, big time.
even
big
if we can't save you, we can make you very comfortable.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dave, our number one patient, and that's our IT technology guy, man. And Dave, God bless you. You're awesome, Dave. But he always says, you can't say we're going to save your life, but you can say we're going to make your life better. And that's really what's wrong with that. I mean, beautiful stories, many more to come. We need everybody's support to make this happen. It's bigger than one person can handle. We know it works. We're proof, I mean, living proof. How about that? Yeah, that's a beautiful thing. And let's take advantage of it while that's still the fact. A lot of movement. If you want to join the movement, come get on our Facebook, get on their Facebook. We're all working together. We just need to have you on the same page.
If you are sick or someone you love is sick, reach out to us on Fecal Education and Making a Home. If you're in Europe, if you're in Africa, if you're in Australia, if you're in Brazil, we can help you.
And it's quality because if you get something, if you go to a gas station and you get some CBD and you think it's going to help you, you might as well just pump diesel up your ass.
Yeah,
that
Walmart CBD there isn't anything in it.
No, they don't, and they're screwing people. And even if you buy it from a scammer on Facebook, anywhere there's scammers. There's probably more scammers than there are good people. That's the scary part about it. Be careful. I got scammed. I thought I was street savvy. Got scammed. Because you're desperate. You expect people to not do it. You know what I mean? And this is the space.
If you're going on Facebook or online to buy fecal or buy cannabis, and then you go to pay, and they're portraying themselves to be a U.S. serviceman, and the name that you're sending it to is a wee woo and wobbly, you got a red flag.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It happened to me. I tried to get some psilocybin mushrooms. I got to be honest. I was talking to this person. I thought it was a cute little girl for a year. And she just kept milking me. It turned out to be some zibba. And then they sent the product, and then they said, "Oh, guess what? It's stuck in customs, and you need to pay another $300 to get." That's just a common trick of theirs. And then
if that happens to you, contact your bank and tell your bank that you purchased what you thought was legal CBD and did not receive the product, and then you'll get your money back. Because they're unscrupulous and took your money to begin with. Just lie and say, I ordered CBD from these turds and never got it. And you'll get your money back.
Yeah. Good point. That's a good patient-reported outcome right there.
Yep. We've got another comment in here that says, I've been educating my home nurse and my pain management doctor. That is so important to do. There's not enough education out there. Sherry, thank you for taking the time to do that, because you taking that 10 minutes with your doctor helped open their eye for another patient that may need it as well. So thank you for doing that.
Kind of teach the teachers, and that's what they did to us back.
Speaking of which, that's funny you brought that up. I forgot about this. My doctor, my primary care, who's been my primary physician for about 30-some years, he calls me when he asks questions.
Nice.
He really does. He does call me when he asks questions about stuff about cannabis and eco and what.
Well,
what else do we
that's
do?
a proactive physician.
We did drink the Kool-Aid. That's the thing. We drank our own Kool-Aid. It was green.
Oh, true. But for him, I mean, in the very, very beginning, he was so for it that he was actually sending the people to me so I can send them to get their licenses, because that's how early this all started with him and I.
Wow. Yeah.
So,
crazy.
When people had to get their license, when they were forcing everybody to get their licenses,
And plus, no matter what,
their medical license, yeah, he was calling me, and I was sending them to where a friend of mine was working, and everybody was happy. So he was, I was, they were.
you got to be a little careful talking to your doctor, but we highly recommend it. I mean, most doctors are very friendly.
No, listen, like I said, I've been in my physician for 35 years.
Yeah, beautiful, and it's what we want to do. I'm just saying that some doctors will like if you.
I know I know who I can talk to, and I know who I can't talk
to. Yeah, exactly. But some parents have run into the situation where they mention they're treating their kids, and all of a sudden they pull the plug on their kids, and they're like, "Holy shit, what are you?"
Oh yeah.
Even veterinarians have done that before with dogs because they have this hard on for their medicine. Is it, and honestly, I've had dogs die from their medicine before.
That's
big pills
it's really bad in pain management.
It really is. It is. It is. All you doing a big monster horse pill for a freaking headache, basically.
Yeah. In fecal education and making home, the number one thing that we treat is pain. Number 2 is probably COPD, and number 3 is cannabis.
Okay, cancer.
Cancer. Excuse me, cancer. Yes. Yeah. But pain.
That's funny that cancer and cannabis start with CAN. Yes, you can. I didn't think about that. Yeah, I like that.
If progress means to move ahead, what does Congress mean?
Yeah, right. I know. Reverse. Yeah.
Back off.
Back off. We can have everybody. We should have the largest feck off party ever. And that's coming up on 420, by the way. We got a big announcement on 420. It'll be a lot of fun. So hang tight. We've got a group of people that we've been working with over the last 6 months to a year in depth. I was telling Debu earlier that we have some research that's starting to prove up what we're talking about. It's scientific. It's
coming about. Worcester Polytechnic is just now offering a cannabis program.
Yeah,
and Worcester Polytechnic is one of the better schools in our state.
Yeah, well, that's awesome, man. Yeah, so, and one of our own Justin Kander is he got a degree in cannabis from Virginia or Maryland or something, right? Maryland, I think.
I think it's Maryland.
That when I say it, but
I'm not sure.
Dave Doppler has a degree in cannabis as well.
I can tell, Dave. I know you. I know. I can hear it in your voice, buddy.
No, he's going to be upset that I said that because he does not like. He's a very humble man.
Well, the cat's out.
Yeah, Dave, you're educated. We know now.
Yeah. No excuse. Yeah. Well, cool. Well, hey, this is if you know anybody else that wants to join in on the fun, let them know about Feck Off Friday. It's growing, a lot of fun, a lot of views after fact, what we're finding out, a lot of good education, meeting people like Babu here and George. These guys are here to help you. Really, all you need to do to get to medicine is to have a cancer diagnosis and prove up. And it's
we go to great lengths because there's a finite amount of this, and it's got to go to the people that need it. If you want to do it recreationally, learn how to make it and do it yourself.
Make your own or go to the dispensary.
But what we're making right now is so clean and pure that it only goes really.
It's for medicine, man. It is medicine. Oil. Like I said, we know cannabis oil kills cancer cells, and we're out to, like I said, get the normal general, like the guy that wants to cut his 2-year-old's eye out. Just makes me want to puke.
Yeah.
That they're not willing to at least try it. I mean, what if it worked? What if it worked? What kind of a normal life,
Sometimes they come home, they're sent home, and then they go, well, the doctors have given up. I guess I'll try it.
I guess I'll try it now. Why does it take
that? That's the worst to wait that long.
Why do you have to go that long?
And it's almost like we need to tell the doctors to say it earlier because when you're saying it, you're putting them into a death spiral. You might as well give them a chance to enjoy life if you telling them they're going to die, basically, right? I mean, it's like, and it's the worst thing in the world.
That's why we got to continue to work every day to change the stigma, because that's what happened. The media came in and stigmatized cannabis and made it all bad. So people are scared to try what could save their life.
It was sad to know that they're bypassing something that is, it's healthy too. It's like I said, we really aren't a healthy nation or a healthy world. And this is one thing that proves it, that it's right here. It's right there. It's available to everybody. I mean, you're in an illegal state. You can go to Colorado and get some.
Well, just as the United States led the world in making it illegal, we were the first nation to make it illegal.
Yeah,
and then the world followed suit. But we were the first nation to start to reinitiate it again. Yeah. And now it's following suit.
Well, we got to give Bear some some credit for helping us make it illegal.
Back off.
Back off, Bear. Yeah,
No.
one of my buddies knows executive there, and he said their biggest fear is to have the American public not allow them to advertise on TV. So can you tell? Does that tell you how stupid we are? We're fucking stupid. They're telling us what to go to the doctor and tell the doctor what we need from a commercial. We don't need doctors.
They call it television for a reason, you know.
The media controls the masses like a sheepdog does a flock.
Yeah. But we've got we're not even a sheep or dogs wouldn't have the weakest person running the world, you know what I mean? And we do.
Yeah, we do. I don't think anybody here would disagree with that.
With that president, didn't he?
Yeah.
That president at the GOP, didn't he? For Christ's sake, leave him alone. The guy only died in 1996. How he spoke to him, I don't know.
We can do better, man.
That was so dead. When I spoke with Mitterrand,
Maybe he's on too much, Freckle.
Back off.
the only guy I wouldn't give any to.
And earlier when I'm talking about I'm Fecco and he's Fico, we were giving a dig to the political world. It's you guys are fucking bored as hell to let shit like that bother you, man. Move on and feck off.
Yeah, this is medicine.
Yeah, it's medicine. It should be over. And I've got sponsors and with our other program with the Eric charity that are more supportive. They say, hey, if we're dealing with cancer, we'll work with anybody, any of our competitors or anything. It's a much bigger situation, and which is a great way to look at it.
I've had friction with people in my group, but I still treat them because I don't like you, you don't like me, doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, you're still sick.
And you're still sick. Medicine. You need this, and I'm going to help.
Yeah, even though they got a bad attitude.
I won't say who the guy. The only reason is the guy's in chronic pain. Yeah. I mean, he's in such pain that the conversations we have are intolerant.
Hey, by the way, you know who you are.
Yeah, you know who you are. We aren't going to, but I won't say your name, obviously. But I mean, this guy's lived through chronic pain.
Yeah, wow, what a bitch.
And now he's just, I got him too high to him. I got him gunshot.
Okay. Learn from that. He just said,
I actually can relate to that. To that being like a really grumpy person because you're in chronic pain. Now, that changed for me about 5-6 years ago whenever Fecco got introduced to my life. But prior to that, I was in like screaming levels of pain. I was miserable. And I know I was hard to deal with. Like my poor family, I know I was hard to deal with. So with, the pain relief that comes from Fecco, I was able to like get up and move around and not be so pain. And then I could tell my relationships were starting to get better.
Yes.
Yeah. You smile and you wag your tail, and it's all good. By the way, dogs. Have you dealt with dogs at all? I mean,
no, I haven't. But I've met.
You're not against like four-legged creatures that.
Well, like I said, I got my daughter just loves his cat to death. Just got diagnosed with diabetes, so I know that this is an effective treatment, and we're going to document the journey.
Awesome. See, he's learning.
Well, this is the first cat that I'm going to treat.
Okay, right on.
I have not treated an animal yet, so this will be the first one that I treat.
I love it.
Children and adults, but there's a story that will come from this too.
Yeah, I'm sure. It works. That's the thing about it. When you know it works, then you go into it with confidence, and that gives huge hope to the person.
It's like when I cured my adult onset diabetes, I wanted to tell the world about it. I don't want any money out of it. I want to tell if we can save this cat. Everybody loves their cat, man. Everybody got a diabetic cat. Don't you want to make it safe, warm, and happy and healthy?
Yeah.
And
because you don't
grow it next to your tomatoes and do it yourself.
Hey, there's nothing worse than a pissed off cat.
Oh God.
God, yeah. Speaking of a freaking bitch, we had a couple cats, and I used to come home from hockey high as fuck, and that cat would know it. And it would like attack me, man. And I'd be standing on the couch at 1 a.m, going, trying to not wake up the family, but not trying to get attacked by this killer cat.
Well, we have we've been live for about an hour now, but I will say that our guest count is still rising. So for all of you guys that are just jumping on, hi.
Hello.
Welcome to Feck Off Friday.
We apologize. We started early, and I bet that was all me because I got high. And I'm a time zone guy. I fly all over the world and all over the country, and I get it. And we usually base everything on Central Time. Well, I missed it completely. And Babu, he had a chance to save me, but he didn't either. So
Ozzy saw Stone too.
yeah, because we got high. Yeah.
That was really
So
too
Jim
bad,
calls
too,
me
'cause
2
behind
hours before the podcast starts and says, "You ready to go live?"
Jamie said it's 10 o'clock.
No, I'm not.
I don't know if you can see, but the Capitol building is right there.
I don't think they can see it, but
Man, but trust us.
gold Capitol Dome right over
Right
there.
there. Gold Capitol, man. Yeah, it's badass. It's really cool. And I apologize to everybody that's jumping on. It might be some of our regulars, but go back in and watch it. We'll be better. I'm not going to say I'm not going to get high next week, but I'm going to try not to have the podcast 2 hours early.
I know you well enough. Yeah.
So it's been a great Feck Off Friday. And I personally am in Boston for a wedding from a really good friend. I'm the best man. It's going to be pretty interesting. Yeah. I'm going to be primed and ready, and getting ready to go meet a buddy of mine that's here. James, shout out to you, bud. And cheers, everyone.
No, I'm going to go make some fecal.
George, thank you, man. Yeah, and if you need any help making it, get to the Fecco Make It at Home group, and they're very, very active and very supportive, and they'll help you make it yourself. Which is
we will help you make it fecal. And if you listen, making fecal, if you can make cookies, you can make fecal. But some people can't make cookies.
Some people can't make cookies, yeah. So not everybody can make it, is what he's saying. And you know what, though? If you can't make it, there's other options.
Yeah.
Get on Cancer Playbook. We have a resource page there. We're going to recommend these guys highly. If you're making Fecco and it's not working, you might not be making it right. So don't always rely on, if you're sick, rely on the professionals, honestly. And then go to the Cancer Playbook. We can help you get in touch with some professionals, and then document your journey, man. If you can't afford it, let us know. We have a grant program. We'll help you out. We have programs all over the country coming up. Amanda, shouting out at you. We're getting ready to launch.
She's watching.
Really excited about Ohio. So
there's a few people.
She's watching. Amanda's got some good things coming.
Right on. Well, cheers, everyone. Feck Off Friday.
We also have another comment in the section of another person who'd like to be a guest speaker. I think it's Savith. I think if I pronounced your name wrong, I'm sorry. We would love to talk to you. Please reach out to either Jamie Bennett or Justin Kander. Thank you guys, everybody, for watching. This has been an amazing session. Feck Off!
Feck Off! Friday. Have a great Friday.
Everybody.
Bye.
Cheers. Thanks, George. Thanks, Babu.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, buddy.